Now, Brenda says they remain cautiously optimistic that the baby will be reunited with her own birth mother. But if she cannot go back, they are now considering adopting her. That would be a very happy ending, but for those who turn 18 in the foster care system, it is anything but smiles. That's because Florida law says at 18, you are officially out of the system, forcing hundreds of young people into situations that could mean they have absolutely nowhere to go. At 6 years old, Patrice Wilfork told her kindergarten teacher that her mom was using drugs and hurting her and her little sister, and that she was scared to go back home.
A couple of days later, my mom actually beat me so bad that my aunt had called the police. She got arrested and she was in jail for 6 months. And my sister was taking care of us in the meantime, but she really wasn't home. She was at work most of the time.
The situation was so bad, child welfare agents took Patrice and her 5-year-old sister away and placed them in foster care. But the situation there wasn't much better.
Basically, I was beat up a lot, and I always fought for my little sister. And eventually we got so overwhelmed that we knew we wasn't going back home anytime soon, that we started fighting each other.
And by the time she was 14, she had lived with 19 different foster families and been in 13 different schools.
It was very frustrating to know that I had to move.
The reality is that we have as a country done these children an injustice.
Charles Bender runs Place of Hope, a privately funded foster neighborhood where children are raised in a traditional family setting with 2 parents and the promise of stability. Patrice's therapist thought it would be a place she could finally call home.
It was scary at first because I never had an interview for any of the homes that I were in. So at first they asked me several questions and I answered them. And basically they made me feel comfortable, and I got used to it before I even moved in.
The teenager has lived with her Place of Hope parents for nearly 4 years now. But when she turns 18 in just a few weeks, the state says she must move out. For Bender, putting kids like Patrice back on the street is unthinkable.
Unfortunately, in America today, your average child or youth at 18 is not able to make it on their own. Your average kid in America today isn't financially independent until the average age of 24, 25 years old. So these kids are no different. In fact, in some ways, they're a little bit behind that 8 ball because of their backgrounds and having been in multiple foster homes, etc. So we have to, take that into consideration. Some of these kids truly are American orphans. They don't have anybody. And so we just believe that having the on-site is a good model. There's some other great models as well, but here we have someone that they can knock on their door at 2 o'clock in the morning, or if their car broke down at work, they can have someone that come pick them up and so forth.
So Bender and his board raised enough private money to buy and renovate these duplexes. Villages of Hope is more than a spot to send those who are aging out of the system. It's where young adults can get a head start on life.
Kids actually don't pay rent, they pay a program fee, and it's sliding scale based on income and what they're doing with school and so forth, and it's case by case. But that does help to offset some of the costs of bringing in the additional services for the children.
Patrice has already begun getting used to her new independence.
We have no one to tell us to do our chores. We have to do them on our own. And we have to buy our own groceries, and we have to pay our own rent. And basically, we both have to maintain jobs and maintain in school.
It gives me a sense of pride.
Her roommate, who asked that her identity be protected, was also taken away from her birth parents. She now works full-time and is close to high school graduation. She believes the village concept will change lives.
The kids that are going to come here are going to see that it's a privilege, and that they're going to be able to stand on their own feet and not have to lean towards others, and that they're not going to just fall and not be able to get back up. If they do fall, there's going to be someone there to help them gain their ground and then get back on track with what they need and still succeed in their goals.
Both girls must follow their life plans set up by caseworkers. And there are rules here: midnight curfews, no parties, and no skipping school.
Sometimes it's very overwhelming.
Hope is what fuels this village. Bender has plans to expand, knowing more than 100 kids in Palm Beach County will turn 18 and be kicked out of foster care within the next year. He says the community owes these young adults a chance at something better.
We just have to be there with that toolbox of life and just to be able to say, here's the tools. We're going to give you everything. This community, this village has said, we have everything for you. Whether we have people that will pay for college where the state won't. We have people that will pay for transportation assistance where the state won't. But you have to prove that you're going to try your best to make something out of your life.
It makes me feel proud to know that I'm doing what I desire to do, and I don't have to look down on myself and say I can't do it.
Bender believes this sense of pride will help these young adults succeed and surpass their often unbelievable childhoods. And that is just one step towards righting an unforgivable wrong.
It really just boils down to hope. If these kids, these youth, have hope, they will make something out of their lives. They will. They're equal. They're just like you and I and all the other guys that are working with you right now. We all have the same equal footing when it comes to ability. It's just that some have been dealt, a better hand and some haven't.
Now, Villages of Hope sponsors are so excited about their success, they are now working on building a duplex that would be specifically for teens who are about to get kicked out of the system and are pregnant or have just had a baby. There is not one place in Palm Beach County right now for them to go to.